everybody, it's Robin and welcome to the Robin's Nest. Today on my channel we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today I wanted to show you guys just how easy it can be to make your very own wedding cake at home using just a couple of very simple and elegant techniques. And I just so happen to have a neighbor and good friend who just got married in secret, and I don't think she got to have a big fancy cake since she didn't get to have any guests at her wedding. So this little mini wedding cake is going to be my wedding gift to her. So let's get into it. So I know the bride and her hubby are big fans of marble cake. So I baked up 3 6-inch and 3 4-inch marble cakes. And we're just going to start by leveling them. And now you can use a serrated knife for this part and a good eye if you have one. Or you can be like me and use a cake leveler if you suck at leveling. So we're just going to start by leveling out our layers here. And then we're going to clean everything up and start filling and stacking our layers. So once you get the layers for your first tier cut, you're going to stack them to make sure you have the height that you want. And now this is a little bit tall for our top tier, so I'm actually going to scale this down just a little bit. I like to go a little bit overboard at first and then scale it down a little bit by little bit as I go. So we're going to take this down a couple of notches and trim them down again. Okay, so I'm happy with the height of my top tier, but I want my bottom tier to be much taller than my top tier. So I've readjusted my cake leveler to a higher position, which is just shy of 2 inches. So we're just going to finish trimming these up and then we can start stacking and filling. So this next part is equally as important as leveling your layers, and a lot of people actually forget to do it, and that's securing your cake to your cake board. And the bigger your cake, the stronger the bond you're going to want. So you could use either some ganache or maybe even some melted chocolate if you were going to make a really big cake. But today we're just going to use some buttercream. And you're just going to take a little bit, spread it out where you want it. I'm going to take your first cake, apply it where you want it, and just give it a little bit of pressure. And then when you set that in the fridge to chill later on, that should secure that. And then at this point, I like to pop it in the fridge for a few minutes to firm up my icing. So that way when I'm doing my crumb coat, my layers don't shift around. And then you're going to repeat that with each one of your tiers. And once you've finished filling and chilling your layers, it's time for the crumb coat. So we're just going to take a nice big scoop and we're going to start spreading that all over the cake. And it doesn't have to be fancy or pretty, we're just sealing in all these crumbs for now. And then once we're finished this, we're going to repeat this step with all of our tiers and refrigerate them once again for about 20 minutes. Alright guys, so once you've finished with all of your prep work, it's time to make the magic happen, because these two techniques, they really are just so simple, anybody could do them. Even somebody just starting out could do a pretty good job. So for the first of our two techniques, I'm going to be creating a fault line effect around the top of each of our tiers. So the first thing we're going to do is put a little bit of icing on top and give ourselves a nice coat and get it nice and smooth. And then we're going to start building up the outside of our cake. And once we get to the top, we're going to start building it up over the edge, and then we're going to use our bench scraper to smooth it out. Now, I have a bench scraper which is actually the same height as my cake, so I do recommend if you are just starting out to use something maybe a little bit taller, but I should be okay with this one. There, that looks good. Now that we have our sides all smoothed out and our icing is still a little bit tacky, we're going to go ahead and start our second technique while it's still wet. So we're going to do what's called the watercolor technique or the smudging technique. And you're just going to take a little bit of buttercream in the color of your choice. I'm going to use pink today. And we're just going to put a little bit on the cake all around the sides, wherever you want, and you can use as little or as much as you like. And once you get it all finished, you're going to use your bench scraper to smooth it all out and scrape some of it off. So once you're happy with how your cake looks, you're going to move on and complete these steps on each one of your tiers. Then we're going to freeze our cakes for about 30 minutes, and when we come back, we're going to stack them. So here comes the scary part. It's time to stack our tiers. Now I will admit that this part is a lot easier if you have the proper tools, such as a cake lifter or even a couple of offset spatulas. But fear not, you can use just regular spatulas, or if you freeze it really, really well and work really, really fast, you can use your bare hands. But today we're just going to use our cake lifter and our spatula. And once we're finished, we're going to be a little bit extra and we're going to paint our fault line gold. And now we're going to crack fill between our layers with a little bit of extra buttercream and a little flexible plastic smoother I made. So for our gold trim, I'm going to be using a little bit of gold dust and a little bit of spirits to water it down. And you don't need very much, just enough to make it a little bit liquidized, and then you can paint it right onto the cake. Ooh, it's so shiny, I love it, but it's not done yet. I have one more thing to add to make it perfect. Now, I made these last night, so they would have lots of time to dry. And if you're interested in how to make your own, you can find a link to the tutorial in the eye up above. I'm going to add these to the cake, and I'll show you the finished product when I'm done. Well guys, here it is. It's all done, and I'm so in love with it. I'm really digging the pink and the gold together. I think it looks great. What color would you guys choose? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found the tutorial really helpful. If you did, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comment section. And if you enjoyed the video and would like to see lots more fun tutorials like this one, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss any of my new uploads. Thanks for watching.